Hello everyone. APSCRT presents a short monsoon diary part 1, subject English, class 8, unit 8. While children, in this video we are going to learn how to read and describe hill stations and the monsoon, and how to appreciate the miracles of nature and life's little joys and regrets. And we'll also learn the words associated with the monsoon. And finally, we will learn how to write a diary entry. Well, before you read, just think, what's a diary? When do you usually write a diary? Do you write a diary only about the incidents those happened that day, or things that you plan to do in future also? Well, a diary entry is a record of personal experiences written day after day over a long period of time. We also use a diary to note down things we plan to do immediately or in future. We usually write the best things that happened in our life, like the most memorable incidents or the most unforgettable incidents in our lives. While children, now let's watch this video, and while watching, just think whether you have visited any such places or not, or what are the various places you visited in your lifetime. Now let's watch this video. While children, hope you love that place very much. Now children, who would like to describe that place? Which type of place is it? Well, it's a hill station, right? Can you guess the place? Yes, exactly. It is a Missouri hill station. And have you ever visited this place or any other hill stations? Just think, and if you visit, what do you do after visiting that place? And while visiting, what you do? Well, now, in this lesson, we will see how the author describes the Missouri hill station after he has visited, and we are going to read some of the extracts of the author Ruskin Bond in this lesson. Are you ready? Well, children, as I told you, the author Ruskin Bond visited the Missouri Hill Station in Monsoon, and that is on June 24th. And now let's see what he has written in his diary. The first day of monsoon mist, and it is strange how all the birds fall silent as the mist comes climbing up the hill. Perhaps that is what makes the mist so melancholy. Not only does it conceal the hills, it blankets them in silence too. Only an hour ago, the trees were ringing with birdsong, and now the forest is deathly still as though it were midnight. Through the mist, Bizu is calling to his sister. I can hear him running about on the hillside, but I cannot see him. Now, let's find the new words here. Mist, a cloud of tiny water droplets suspended in the atmosphere at or near the Earth's surface that limits visibility, especially. And if you look at the difference between the mist and the fog, which is more visible and which is lesser visible? If you can find the left picture, it's all about mist. It is somewhat the visibility is less, but whereas fog we can see for up to more than 1 kilometer. And the other word is melancholy, and the meaning is very sad. And the mist is called melancholy in this uh, diary extract because it makes people feel melancholy where they cannot see many of the things also. And now conceal, not allowed to be seen or hide. And blankets, it is covers. While children, when does the monsoon begin? Usually it begins in the last week of June, right? So now we can see how the author nicely describes about his feelings after visiting the Missouri Hill Station on June 24th. Now let's read this. The first day of monsoon mist. You might have watched that video. What a lovely mist that you found in that video. And the author gives us a glimpse of the diary about his feelings on the first day he visited there. And the first day of monsoon mist, it's really strange how all the birds fell silent as the mist comes climbing up the hill. And that is why perhaps we think that what makes the mist so melancholy? Not only does it conceal the hills, it blankets them in silence too. And we can listen to the birds singing, and the trees were ringing with the bird songs, and suddenly the forest is deathly still as it was just like a midnight. And there is one implication that through the mist, Bizu is calling to his sister. We can hear him running about on the hillside, but we cannot see him. Now, let's look at a brief summary about that. It gives us a glimpse into the diary of Ruskin Bond, and the first day being talked about is June 24th, and it is the time around which monsoon begins. He also mentions how the mist silences the bird song and conceals the hills, making everything invisible. Well, why is the author not able to see Bizu? Guess, children, who is going to tell? Yes, the author is unable to see Bizu because the mist has concealed the hills. Thus, he could only hear Bizu, but he can't see him. Now, what are the two ways in which the hills appear to change when the mist comes up? Think. First, it conceals the hills. Second, it blankets the singing birds in silence too, because of which the trees that were ringing with birdsong an hour before are now deathly still as if it were midnight. Now, let's read the second diary extract of Ruskin Bond. June 25th, some genuine early monsoon rain, warm and humid, and not that cool, high altitude stuff we have been having all year. The plants seem to know it too, and the first cobra lily rears its head from the ferns as I walk up to the bank and post office. The mist affords a certain privacy. A schoolboy asked me to describe the hill station and valley in one sentence, and all I could say was a paradise that might have been. The new words that we find in this extract are cobra lily. You can find the image here. It's a common name of several plants there, and this is called as cobra lily because these flowers resemble to the hood of a cobra. And the next word is rears, grow or cultivate plants, and ferns, and these are the flowerless plants with feathery green leaves. And you might have seen the author has described how does the hill station and valley look like in one sentence, and the author was saying like a paradise. Okay, so now, well, it is on the 25th day of the June that year, the hills witnessed some early monsoon rain, which brought with itself warmth and humidity. It's different from the showers the hills receive all year that cools the environment at such high altitudes. The plants also know it very well that the monsoon had arrived, and we can see the first cobra lily of the season. It plunges its head, making its way among the ferns as the writer walked till the bank and the post office. And when a schoolboy asked to describe the hill station and valley, and the author said simply, it is a paradise. How do you describe the hill station or the valley that you have visited? Just think and try to write two or three or five sentences about the place you visited. Let's look at the subtext now. By June 25th, humidity emerges as they begin receiving some early monsoon rain, and the first cobra lily rears its head from the ferns. The author describes the hill station and valley in one sentence as a paradise that might have been. You to describe and write in your notebook. When does the monsoon season begin and when does it end? How do you prepare to face the monsoon? When does it begin? Just think. The monsoon begins in the last week of June and continues till the end of August. And what do we do usually? Well, we usually take our raincoats and umbrellas with us when we go to school or any other places. How does the author describe the hill station and the valley? Yes, the author describes the hill station and the valley as a paradise. How do you describe children? Just right now. Let's read the third diary extract of Ruskin Bond. June 27th. The rains have heralded the arrival of some seasonal visitors, a leopard, and several thousand leeches. Yesterday afternoon, the leopard lifted a dog from near the servants' quarter below the school. In the evening, it attacked one of Biju's cows but fled at the approach of Biju's mother, who came screaming imprecations. As for leeches, I shall soon get used to a little bloodletting every day. It's still there, but now let's learn the new words from this. Let's know about the new words that we found. Heralded, announced or brought the news of. Imprecations, curses. Leeches, an aquatic or terrestrial annelid worm with suckers at both ends. You can find how it's sucking the blood. And bloodletting, losing blood. Earlier, uh, these leeches were used for therapy. And you can find the leopard here. And now we can see the rains brought with itself the news of the arrival of a few occasional visitors like the leopard and quite a few thousand leeches. On the afternoon of the day before, the leopard picked up a dog from near the servants' quarter, which was below the school. Not only this, in the evening, it attacked one of Biju's cows but ran away as soon as Biju's mother came cursing. Okay, and as I was saying that uh, with the leeches on the other hand, the writer says that he must get used to losing a little blood to them every day. So as I was saying that leeches were used for blood therapy also. What are the seasonal visitors mentioned by the author? The leopard and the leeches. So the other new arrivals are the scarlet minivets, flitting silently among the leaves like brilliant jewels. No matter how leafy the trees, these brightly colored birds cannot conceal themselves, although by remaining absolutely silent, they sometimes contrive to go unnoticed. Along come a pair of drongos, unnecessarily aggressive, chasing the minivets away. Now let's look at the new words. Scarlet minivets. You can find the bright red bird like a cuckoo, and you can find the other bird, the yellow bird, that is a female bird. Flitting, move swiftly and lightly. Contrive, manage to do something. And drongos, you can find here, this is a drongo. It's a songbird with a stout bill. Well, the author mentions a few other names that arrived with the rain, such as the scarlet minivets, and these birds are bright and red that look like a cuckoo. However, their female counterparts are yellow in color and they move swiftly and lightly among the leaves, giving the appearance of bright jewels around them. These birds are so bright in their color that regardless of how leafy the tree is, it is difficult for them to hide themselves. However, sometimes they manage to go unnoticed by remaining absolutely silent. And there is another bird species named drongos also comes along quite unnecessarily aggressive in nature and they chase these minivets away. Children, what did the author notice? Yes, the author noticed the aggressive drongos chasing scarlet minivets. Now, let's look at this. A tree creeper moves rapidly up the trunk of the oak tree, snapping up insects all the way. Now that the rains are here, there is no dearth of food for the insectivorous birds. Let's look at the new words here. Dearth, scarcity or lack of something. Insectivorous, feeding on insects or worms. You can find these are also called as carnivorous plants. And creeper, any plant that grows around another plant or up a wall or on the ground. Snapping up, to take something quickly or eagerly. Now let's look at this. I think you might have observed many of the creepers. Okay, so during this time a creeper climbs up the trunk of the oak tree and carrying insects with it. The rainy season ensures that there is no scarcity of food for the insect eating birds, right? Well, now let's look at the diary extracts key points from the June 27. The rains also heralds the arrival of a few seasonal visitors like the leopard, leeches, scarlet minivets, and drongos. Because of the downpour, there is no dearth of food for the insect eating birds. Well, what does the rainy season ensure? Yes, the rainy season ensures that there is no scarcity of food for the insect eating birds. Very good, children. Well, children, now let's check how well you have read. First question for you. Bizu is not seen but his voice is heard because option A, he's at school. B, he's hiding. C, the mist covered the hills. What do you think is the right answer? Yes, the reason is the mist covered the hills. Fine. Now let's look at the second question. The writer describes the hill station and valley as an adventure. B, paradise. C, melancholy. So what is the right answer? Yes, it is a paradise. Now the third question is, the monsoon usually begins in the A, last month. B, first week of August. C, last week of June. Yes, the right option is last week of June. There is no dash of food as the monsoon began. Option A, availability. B, scarcity. C, necessity. So the correct answer is scarcity. There's no scarcity of food as the monsoon began. Well done. Now, children, let us learn the words that are associated with the monsoon. What do you find in the picture? Just think and recollect what are the words usually that comes to your mind when you think about the monsoon. What do you find in the left? You can see some thunders and lightning, right? And the other side also you can see a bit of rain was drizzling, and you can find the mist. And what else you can find? Right. Now let's see the words. So here are the words that you can associated with the monsoon. Downpour, drizzle, drenched, storm. If there is heavy rain, we can use the word downpour. And if it is raining a little bit, and we can say drizzling. And how many of you know the word used drenched here? If you are, if you caught in the rain, and some people say I got wet or something like that, but the exact word for that is, you can say I got drenched by rain. Yes. And storm, and these are the words you can use with downpour. And now let's see the other one, mist. You can add fog, water, and humid. And you can also talk about like cloudy, sunny, and you can find a rainbow. And the other words, as we have seen, thunder, lightning. And when there are thunders and lightning, usually in monsoon season, there is a chance of that hailstones also will fall. And we usually use raincoats and umbrellas during the monsoon season. These are the words usually are associated with the monsoon season. So hope you have learnt all these words, and you can add some other words uh, related to the monsoon season. So, well, children, here is a home task for you. Like, imagine you visited a nearby hill station during monsoon this year. Now, write a diary entry expressing your feelings about your visit to a hill station. So, well, that's all for today, and let's meet in the next class.